Screaming like the start of a race. Diet Pepsi's my fuel in this Monday maze. Shake the weekend fog off my tired face. The hustling begins, no time to waste. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The grind won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Sun clouds up higher, chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The cloud won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Street lights fading, sun climbs up higher, chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The grind won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I feel the glow. It's my time now, I own the show. Know that we can be heavy, but I'm tougher still. Climbing the mountain, fueled by will. Each heartbeat whispers, yes you can. I'm golden, helping every woman and man. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The climb won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show.
Hey guys, welcome in. It is Monday motivation kind of night. So good to see each and every one of you as you're popping in. I know there are tons of other great things going on the YouTube, so I appreciate that you are wanting to spend some time with me and get your week started off right, get motivated for the week. So welcome in. Make sure you do all the YouTube things. You subscribe to my channel. You ring the bell for all notification and a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. If you don't know who I am, I hope you'll keep on coming back. But I am Pamela, aka Scooterrenee. I do Monday motivations at 8 p.m. on Mondays, unless there's a holiday or I'm sick or something's going on. And then I do auctions generally on my channel on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and then pop-ups here and there. And then I'm on other people's channel as well. So if you are subscribed to my channel, you will get those notifications as I go live, or you can check the community tab to see when I'm going live next and so forth. So make sure you do those things. Welcome in. If you are new to my channel, I try to do this every Monday night, like I said, except if it's a holiday or if I'm sick or there's something else going on. Very rare, at least here lately, do I ever miss. So I hope you'll keep on coming back and then check out the other things I do on my channel as well. All my OGs, I see you as you are popping in, saying hello and everything, as well as the playback crew. If you are the playback crew, leave me a comment. Let me know that you're the playback crew. Feel free to participate in the chat participation questions. And that way I will still go ahead and give you credit for the monthly drawing that I do for the chat participation questions. But also, if you are the playback crew, welcome. I'm glad you are watching. Just goes to show you do not have to catch me live, but I feel like it's just that much more involved. And you can chat with everybody and go through the exact moment that everybody else is going through. So let's see who all is here and say hello. I'm sorry, the ring light is catching my glasses and it's so very distracting to me. So if you see me stumbling or whatever, that's what it is. It's got my attention. It's either that or my bangs are bugging me. It's something like that. So let's say hello real quick to some people. We got Joanne in here. Hey, Joanne, welcome in. So good to see you as always. Josie, hello. Welcome in, Josie. Make sure y'all are supporting each other. Click on those three dots, go to the person's channel, hit subscribe. That way you can support each other. Ashley Reed, welcome in. Good to see you. Welcome in. We got Mama Sands in here. Hey, welcome in. And let's see, we got Tammy Dream Chaser here. Hello, Tammy. Welcome in. We got Nancy Smith. Hey, Nancy. Welcome in. Good to see you, my dear. My favorite brown sugar, Karen. Hello. Welcome in. Lisa D. Welcome in, sweetheart. Good to see you. All right. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. And if you are new to the channel, you are lurking in the background, come in and say hello. We're all nice, I promise. All right. So, I think I've got everybody. Like I said, there are other great things going on the YouTube, so people will come in as they get the notification, or they might be bouncing back and forth between different things, and that's okay. So I hope you guys had an awesome weekend. If you watch my shorts, you know, Friday I went sourcing and I got a sloth skateboard. No, I do not skateboard. Skateboarding is probably the last thing I need to do. But Robert saw it and he's like, you need to go get this. So I went and got it. Went and conquered. And then I think we're going to probably hang it up somewhere in the living room area. I'll do a short on that as soon as we get that solved. Haven't quite decided how I want to do it just yet. So, see, Sandy says we don't bite often, right? Oh, that's awesome, Lisa D. Hey, Mary, welcome in. Good to see you. There's my feather sister. Welcome in, Selena. Good to see you. All right, I think I got everybody. So yeah, got the skateboard, and then Saturday, Robert and I went sourcing. And if you saw that short, you know I lost out a couple of purchases, and my heart has never been so broken. I mean, that's just the luck of the draw and everything, and just goes to show you got to be on your toes when you're outsourcing if you're a reseller and everything. But yeah, there was one that particularly really hurt. So. But it's okay. I'm getting over it slowly but surely. But yesterday, I went to the water park with Harley, Patrick, and Elle. I don't know if that'll be our last time or not because we're getting down to the end of the summer, obviously. And then also, my oldest daughter's birthday, Shelby. Her birthday was yesterday. She is 31 years old now. It's like, my goodness. And then to finish out the weekend, I went over to Black Widow's channel and did an auction over there. So that's what I'm saying. Make sure y'all are subscribed to each other. That way you don't miss out on any auctions or any of the different shows that people do, shorts, videos, things like that. Yes, she would have, right, Sandy? Yes. I mean, y'all know me. I have the good and the bad angel on my shoulders. And the bad angel was really wanting to come out. I always say I never wanted to trip someone so bad in my life. And then the good side is like, now Scooter really is not that big of a deal. And then the bad one just punches the good one. So, oh, awesome, Karen. And then I don't know, Cool Ranches came in yet, but today is Cool Ranch's birthday. So 24th of August. You know exactly what it's like to be pregnant in the middle of the heated summer then, Karen, right? Yes. Let's see. All right, you do that, Selena. No worries. Saturday I told you all about that and everything. Tonight's episode 136, we are discussing the law of least effort. And that is when we're trying to set new habits, we need to make it to where it takes the least effort, because otherwise we're not going to stick with it. And if we want to break a habit, then that's where we need to make the habit difficult. Whatever it is that we're doing that we want to break, we need to make that difficult for us to do, because then we're not going to want to do it if there's too much effort. into it. But first, real quick, positive thought. If you can make your good habits more convenient, you'll be more likely to follow through on them. How true is that? I saw this quote, and I also felt like this quote was something that someone might need to hear at this moment. So it is, never regret a day in your life. Good days give happiness. Bad days give experience. Worst days give lessons. And best days give memory. So, all right. We are going to do a quick chat participation time. Those of you that are new in chat that have never don't know what I'm talking about, y'all are welcome to chat throughout the whole night. But when I say chat participation time, that is where I'm either A, asking you a question, or B, asking you to make a statement, whatever. But when I say chat participation time, when I ask or say what it is, if you comment in chat, I will star you and you get entered into the monthly drawing. So, and that goes into the Mr. Sloth Cup. So, all right, so chat participation time. Who in here likes geography? Anybody in here like geography? I am not. I believe it's geography I'm talking about tonight. Anybody in here likes geography? That's what we're going to kind of start out with. Tammy says she does. Very interesting. Nancy says she does. Karen says some. Like, I don't mind being in the conversation, but it's not something I go searching, you know. Lisa D says she is. Mary says I like to travel. History, yes. Joanne says she does. All right. So, and there is a gentleman by the name of Jared Diamond, in his award-winning book, and it was called Guns, Germs, and Steel. Some of y'all might have seen that book. That title was very familiar to me, but he is an anthropologist and a biologist, and he makes an interesting point. Continents are shaped differently. Don't know if y'all ever have paid attention to the continents on the globe or on the map, whatever, but they are shaped differently. And at first, this might seem pretty obvious and not particularly important, especially to tonight's topic, but it will, I promise. But it actually has a big influence on human behavior. The Americas stretch from north to south, making the land masses of North and South America. And those are long and narrow instead of wide and bulky, or wide and big. Africa has a similar shape. On the other hand, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, they form a vast land area that is more spread out from east to west. According to Diamond, this difference in layout significantly influenced how agriculture spread throughout the ages. Now, when farming began to spread worldwide, when farming began to spread worldwide, it was much easier for farmers to expand east to west rather than north to south. And this is mainly because places along the same latitude typically enjoy similar climates, sunlight, rainfall, seasonal changes, so forth. But thanks to these consistent conditions, farmers in Europe and Asia could successfully cultivate a handful of crops and grow them all the way from France to China. And when you travel north to south, the climate changes dramatically. Just think about the contrast in the weather between Florida and Canada, for example. Even if you're the best farmer out there, You won't be able to grow Florida oranges in the frigid Canadian weather. Snow doesn't quite cut as a substitute for good soil. So to successfully cultivate crops in different climates, farmers would need to discover and cultivate new plants whenever conditions shift. Right, Mary? I didn't either. And it all ties together, I promise. But because of this, agriculture took off in Asia and Europe at a pace 2 to 3 times faster than in America. Over the course of centuries, this seemingly minor difference created a significant impact. With a boost in food production, populations grew rapidly. More people meant that these communities could form stronger armies and better pursue technological advancements. And what began as small changes, a crop that stretched a little further, a population that grew a bit faster, added up to create major differences over time. Now, I know you're thinking, Scooter, I didn't come here for a geography, agriculture lesson, none of that. Didn't come to hear about crops and soil and the winter and summer and different seasons and such. I came here to learn about how to stick to my habits with the least effort. But take a moment to think about how agriculture, right? Take a moment to think about how agriculture spread across the world. It is a perfect illustration of the third law. Remember, there's 4. Third law of behavior change on a grand scale. You see, many people believe that motivation is the magic ingredient when it comes to forming new habits. And the idea is if you really desire something, you'd make it happen, right? But let's get real. Our genuine motivation often leans towards being comfortable and taking the easy route. And believe it or not, this isn't just laziness. So anybody tells you that you're being lazy, that's not it. It's actually a smart approach, despite what those flashy productivity books might actually suggest to you. Right, Mary? Yeah. So energy, as we all know, we've talked about this before in other topics, energy is a valuable resource, and our brains are naturally designed to preserve it whenever we can. It's part of being human to embrace the law of least effort, which that suggests that when we're faced with similar choices, we naturally lean towards the one that demands the least amount of work, right? We all do it. At least I do. But take, for instance, the decision to expand your farm to the east, where you can cultivate the same crops rather than venturing north into a different climate. Among all the possible actions we could choose, we tend to pick the one that offers the greatest reward with the least amount of effort. So in essence, we are drawn to what feels easy and requires the least struggle. Every action we take needs a bit of energy, right? Every action that we do requires some sort of amount of energy. The more energy something demands, the less likely we are to actually do it. For instance, aiming to crank out 100 push-ups every day sounds pretty intense. Or working out every day for an hour sounds pretty intense. At first, when you're all fired up and enthusiastic, it can really feel manageable when you're first fired up. Hey, Ellen, welcome in. Good to see you. So good to see you. But if we give it a few days and that ambitious goal starts to feel downright daunting, on the flip side, committing to just 1 push-up a day is a breeze. So the beauty of smaller habits is that they require much less energy, which makes them way easier to stick with. So the less effort it takes, the more likely we are to keep it going, right? No, me too, Tammy. Like I said last week and times before, we have to break it down into bite-sized pieces. We have to break it down into manageable chunks. Just like my listing, trying to do 5 most mornings can feel rather daunting to me and takes more effort, more time. Whereas doing 3 listings for now seems manageable and less energy. If I want to do more than 3, then by gosh, I can do more than 3. But my minimum, the part that feels like I can easily obtain, is knowing I want to do 3 listings a day. So, hey Steph, welcome in. Good to see you. So let's do another chat participation time. Another chat participation time. What is a habit you've had or trying to start that you broke down into least effort, at least to get started? Does that make sense? Or you made it manageable. So like I said, my listings. I could have said I need to do 5 listings a day. That just seems so daunting for me because I do work full time. I do my reselling full time basically. I work at the flea market, sometimes full time. But there's so much I have going on, so many plates I'm spinning that 5 for me seemed daunting. So I lowered that number to 3. It made it much more manageable. So what is a habit that you either have started or you're trying to start that you can break down into at least effort to get started if you haven't already? Ellen says invoicing and shipping. Woo, right? Yep, I have to do that myself. So I invoice every weekend. I have to invoice every weekend. Obviously, if people need it before then, great, I can get it to you. But for me to manage what I do every day, invoicing every weekend, and then Robert luckily helps with getting everything wrapped that's breakable. And so every weekend you can get an invoice. That's how I broke it down. Shipping, I broke it down by having Robert, who was willing to do it. I don't know if he's so much willing now, but willing to wrap the breakable. So, I had to break it down. That took a load off of me. Nancy says rest. Mr. Steph says packing packages. Harry says habit is trying to be nicer to others, right? Your habit? Oh, I gotta give you your stars. Hold on. I'm giving you all the stars. Let me get them. There we go. Harry, you're going to get a star anyway. Wendy says, wanted to take a shower, however, needed to update my pump. So what better way to listen to you guys and do it? Yes! I'm so glad you're here, Wendy. So good to see you. Steph says, currently trying to start listing. Got some up, just not daily. Also got an offer. Yay! And so, Steph, my challenge to you as your accountability partner is, can you commit to 2 a day or even 1 a day if you want to make it 1, whatever is manageable for you. Lisa D says walks. I'm trying to get into that. I made a mistake of taking Bello with Robert and I the other day to go for a walk. And, I think that was yesterday. Anyway, she was panting, and you could tell her leg was really bothering her. So that might have been a little too much too fast. I will have to tell him that. Y'all know me. When I drop something, I always tell y'all it's a shipping test. Yeah. Mary says, breaking down my chores to bite-size 15 minutes each. Yes, I love it, Mary. You did your homework. Ellen says, basically time management. I'm trying too hard to make a workable schedule, knowing I'm just no good at 2 a.m. anymore. Right, Ellen? Like, I used to be able to stay up late. Y'all know, 9:30, 10:30 is my cutoff. Selena will tell you 10:30 is my cutoff. If I'm on the phone with her, she will cut me off. She'll be like, okay, what time is it? 10:30? Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow, Scooter. Sleep has just become more important to me as I've gotten older. And I'm not a morning person either. getting up at 6:30 every morning just so I can get my listings done and all the other stuff I need to get done before I leave for work is a chore sometimes. So I'm not saying I got this habit thing down pat. I do struggle. Well, then you haven't been paying attention, Tammy, because Steph and I talk about it all the time. Steph says 1 to 3, but not mornings. Have issues getting my morning going. Right? Then you do it at night. I even thought about yesterday, or maybe it was this morning. I thought about changing mine to the evening. But then I'm like, I just got so much going on in the evening. Like something has to give for me. So I'll keep struggling and getting up at 6:30. Usually Bella has me up before 6:30, which makes me mad because I'm like, I want the alarm to go off, Bella. Wendy says the past 2 weeks or so, I've been going through inventory and pricing things all at reasonable prices. So when and if I have an auction, I'll be ready, or a garage sale. Yes, love it, Wendy. Hey, Giovanni, welcome in. Good to see you, Betty. I'm with you, Ellen. I have noticed if I do my invoicing and I do it late at night, or maybe not even late at night, I'm just tired, mentally, physically, and everything. But I'm like, I got to get this invoicing done. I will make more mistakes. Luckily, more times than not, I catch it before I send it. But I will make more mistakes when I am just worn out. So I understand that wholeheartedly. Mr. Step is something I discovered in my late 40s that I needed. And I miss being a night owl. Miss it. Karen says time management. Yes. Yes, you are. Tammy, I have to literally sit there and go, okay, Tammy, let's go back to this. I had to do that the other day. I was like, let's go back and work on this, and then we'll move on. Thank you guys for participating in that. Now think about the everyday activities that take up a big chunk of your time. Chances are you can do them with hardly any motivation at all. It just happens, right? I find that things like mindlessly scrolling through social media, I do that quite a bit. I'm addicted to this color game on my phone now, and I have wasted more time doing that than other things I need to be doing. But, scrolling through social media, checking my emails for the 100th time of the day, or maybe you binge watch favorite series. I have a hard time binge watching TV. So, but they're so easy to fall into doing. And for me, myself, I find when I do that, I put off other things I can or could be doing. I've been trying to work on a new setup in my warehouse because I've gotten more into listings. So I need an area that has all my listing items. I need an area for overflow of inventory, things I might not sell today, might sell next week, whatever, for auctions, and whatever else I have going on. So I need to kind of get all that organized. But I've been playing the stupid color game, fill in the color, whatever it is. I've been playing that so much here lately that I'm like, oh man, next thing I know, 30 minutes has passed. I could have been in my warehouse, for an example. But the reason is because they demand almost no effort. If you think about when you're scrolling through your phone or playing stupid color games and whatever else on your phone, they take almost no effort, and it's making them all too convenient. And that's why they can hijack our precious hours. Right? It is so hot. It's been hot. Today, this week, we're supposed to get our, what do they call it? False fall weather. For Arkansas, we always have that week where we're like, oh, we're cooling down, yay. And then next week it's going to be blistering hot again. So it's our false fall weather week here in Arkansas. So today was beautiful. We actually ate lunch outside. It was so nice. Right now it's 69 degrees, But anyways, the reason is, like I said, they require basically no effort, not much brain power whatsoever. Think of it this way. Every habit can feel like a hurdle keeping you from what you really desire. Every habit can feel like a hurdle keeping you from what you truly desire. They don't have fall. Wendy said, I can't wait till Florida gets their fall weather. Oh, they don't have fall. So, for instance, going on a diet. I don't know about you guys, but anytime I sit there and think I'm going to eat healthier, I'm going to not eat sugar, whatever it may be. That's when all the daggone commercials, I'm pointing at the TV because Robert's got the TV on in there. That's when all the commercials I notice come on, to go eat Olive Garden or wherever, that's the first one I think of, but like Olive Garden, Texas Roadhouse, what's the Australian one? Outback. Those commercials will pop up all the time, the fast food commercial. That's when I notice this, when I'm trying to watch what I eat. But going on a diet might seem like an obstacle standing between you and getting fit. Meditating might feel like a barrier to experiencing that sense of calm that you crave. Writing in a journal, those of you that have gotten into some journaling, that can sometimes appear to block you from achieving clear thoughts. And the truth is, you aren't seeking the habit itself. You're after the wonderful results that it will bring. The tougher the habit, the more resistance you will face on your journey towards your goals. And that's why it's so important to make your good habits as simple as possible. So simple that you will stick with them, even on those days when motivation is low. Wendy said that's because you have a smart TV that does the same. You have a smart TV that does the same thing on your phone. You get updates for things that you were just thinking about, and all of a sudden you get ads for. Yes. So, yeah, I'll be talking to y'all about something, and then the next thing I know on Facebook, it'll pop up, But yes, keep the habits simple, easy to do. So by making your positive habits easier to fit into your life, you will find that you're more likely to embrace them wholeheartedly. So what about those times that we seem to contradict ourselves? If we're all just sitting around being lazy, how do we explain incredible people who tackle tough challenges like raising a child, launching a business, or even conquering our beloved, those of you that were here in our last series or series before last, Mount Hero? We all did that. How do we explain that, right? So it's amazing how we can surprise ourselves with what we're capable of. Absolutely, 100%, you have the strength to tackle really tough challenges. The tricky part is that some days you're all in for the hard work, while other days it feels tempting just to give up, stop, quit, whatever it may be. On those difficult days, it is super important to have as much support as you possibly can get to help you navigate through life's hurdles. The less resistance you encounter, the more effortlessly your best self can shine through. When we talk about making things easy, it's not about only choosing the simple task. It's about creating a situation where it's easier in the moment to choose the actions that will lead to great rewards down the road. Yes, that's right, Mary. She said, I can't compare myself to others, only compare myself with myself these days. So how do we achieve more with less effort? Lena, welcome in. I was like, Lena's here? Welcome. So how do we achieve more with less effort? I'm so glad you asked. I know you're sitting right there on the other side of the screen going, Scooter, how do I achieve more with not putting as much effort in as I feel like I should be having to put in? It really does, Harry. Harry said, try to hang with positive people. It really helps. Yes. All right, let's do another chat participation time. How many of you in chat ever use a water hose to water your yard, your flower beds, or maybe wash your car? And if you have used a water hose, What happens when the hose gets bent? How many of you have ever used a water hose, and what happens when it gets bent? Easy questions for you guys. Getting out of our own way, right, Steph? I sometimes find myself being the biggest person in my way all the time, you know. Have fun. Enjoy that pizza, Ellen. Enjoy. Wendy says, I think it helps by giving yourself grace and being able to accomplish just one thing even helps chip off the to-do list, right? Tammy and I were actually talking about this over dinner last week. And I was saying, I am such a task checker. Like, if I am struggling to get things done, if I make a list, I know it's going to get my attention and I start crossing it off because I'm such a check it off, check it off, check it off. It helps at work. And then if I'm at home and I'm at work, I'm more structured, obviously. At home, when I work from home on Fridays, I find that I'm not as structured. But to do that, if I have a to-do list, I'm more structured for that day. Lena said, cuts you off when the hose is bent, right? Joanne says the water stops. Yes. Lisa D says the water stops coming out. So I'm assuming y'all have used a water hose, right? Water doesn't flow. Yes. I know that's what you meant. Ella says every day to water the critters, fill the ponds, and water the plants. That's a lot. Mary says, I use a water hose. Kinks calls the water to slow down. Yes. Karen says, me. Karen says, it slows down. Yes. Ellen says, when it's crimped, I have to roam the whole yard to find where so the water will flow, right? You're looking. Bye, Ellen. Thank you. Steph said, I drank out of one. But if it was bent, did you drink out of it? Probably not, right? Water no more. That's right. Good job. Karen, I'm such a list person. I am such a list person. If I would just do it every day. So, y'all are right. I want you to picture yourself, though, with that garden hose that has a bend in the middle. Somewhere down the line, it's got a bend in the water hose. Some water trickles through, but not much, right? So if you want to get more water flowing, you got a couple of choices to make. One, you could turn the valve up and push more water out, but that might be a bit forceful. Or you could simply straighten out the hose and let the water flow freely. Sometimes it's just about letting things flow naturally. Trying to muster up the motivation to stick with a tough habit can feel a bit like forcing water through the water hose, through a kinked hose. Sure, you can get it done, but it takes a lot of energy and only adds more pressure. We don't like pressure, adds more pressure to your life. We need to get the kinks out of our life. You got it, Karen. You get an extra star. So, on the flip side, simplifying your habits is like straightening out that hose. Instead of battling against the resistance, you're making things flow smoothly. One of the smartest ways to ease into your habits is by designing your environment thoughtfully. Hopefully you remember that we talked about environment design in the 6th topic of this series. So I think I even have it titled as such. So if you missed that one, you can go back and watch it. But we talked about designing our environment to fit those habits. And then there's that, right, Wendy? I love it. Sometimes it's just about letting things go. Example, putting down the hose and letting it unkink itself. Remove the kinks from our lives, right? Yes. So it's not just about making those helpful cues stand out. It's also about tweaking your surroundings to simplify your actions. For instance, when you're thinking about where to start a new habit, pick a spot that naturally fits to your daily routine. It's much easier to form habits that flow with your life. Take going to the gym, for example. If the gym is conveniently on your way to work or even on your way home after work, then that makes it more easy to obtain, doing that. The detour going to the gym, either going to work or when you're coming home, that detour almost seems effortless. But if it's just even a few blocks away from your usual route, it starts to feel like an extra hassle. Well, I got more traffic I have to get through. I got to go through 5 stoplights to get to the gym instead of, being on your way. It can feel like an extra hassle that you don't want to deal with. So you're like, I won't go to the gym today. I'll go tomorrow. Removing my clutter and inventory, Wendy says. Yes. That's like right now in here. Y'all can't see it. But I got so much stuff in here that's driving me nuts. So I have to get this cleaned up tomorrow when I get home from work. Because otherwise I won't be able to function tomorrow night. Harry says, I hate the kinks when you're halfway across the yard with the hose. Long walk to unkink, right? A lot to think about, too. So, again, if it's on your way home, on your way to work, it's easier to go to than if it's, 5 blocks away, whatever it may be. Little adjustments like this can make a big difference in sticking to your goals. One of the best ways to boost your productivity is by creating a smoother environment at home or at work. So whatever it is, if you have an outline, a layout, if you're a reseller like me, where your shipping happens, where your your label making, where you show your stuff, if everything kind of has its place, you're more out to stay organized. And I'll give you more of an example of that here in just a second. But the little adjustments like that, they can make such a big difference in your life. One of the best ways, like I said, of boosting your productivity is creating a smoother environment. But too often we set out to build good habits in places that make it hard on us to do it, hard on ourselves. We try to stick to a healthy diet while dining out with friends. We attempt to write a book or focus on studying in a noisy household. We wrestle with distractions on our smartphones, for sure. But it doesn't have to be such a struggle. We can clear away those obstacles that hold us back. And this approach is actually what Japanese electronic manufacturers started doing back in the 1970s. That'd be too easy, Tammy. In a captivating piece for the New Yorker called Better All the Time, James Sorowicki, however you say his last name, he explored how Japanese companies pioneered the concept of lean production. They became experts at trimming away all sorts of waste in their manufacturing process, even going so far as to rethink the workspace that was designed so that the workers wouldn't have to stretch and twist to grab their tools. And this meticulous attention to efficiency translated into Japanese factories operating at a peak performance, and their products boasting greater reliability than those made in America. For instance, in 1974, the year I was born, 1974, American-made color televisions were a whopping 5 times more likely to require service calls compared to their Japanese counterparts. By 1979, the assembly line for American TV sets was taking 3 times longer than that of the Japanese. We call this approach addition by subtraction. Japanese companies mastered the art of pinpointing every little snag in their manufacturing processes and getting rid of it. By trimming away unnecessary effort, they not only streamlined their operations, but they also attracted more customers and boosted their revenue. See, I have a Toyota. Yes, ma'am. I know back when I was, learning to drive and everything, my stepdad always told me, buy a Honda, buy a Nissan, buy a Toyota. Back then, you didn't want to buy a Ford or a Chevy. So I think they've come a long ways to this day now. But so in the same way, when we identify and eliminate those pesky points of friction that drain our time and energy, we can accomplish so much more with less strain. When I used to, my stepdad would do these seminars, and we would send out all these, I don't know how many, hundreds of letters to prospects to come to the seminar back when seminars were good, back in the 80s and 90s. I would take 5 of those letters, fold them all at once, and then separate them out, because I felt like that saved me some time instead of folding each individual one. That's just one of the examples I was thinking of where I cut out the extra time you took. Instead of constantly looking for something, I have all my supplies out in front of me when I get ready to do a project, or when I'm working on work here at home. I have it all laid out, so I'm not constantly running all over the room to find something. So like I said, we can eliminate those pesky points when we identify what they are. It's no wonder that tidying up can feel so refreshing. It's like we're making progress while also lightening the mental clutter that our surroundings impose on us. Right, Joanne? Yes. So have you ever noticed that the most addictive products out there are experts at smoothing out life's little bumps? Take meal delivery services, for instance. They take the hassle out of grocery shopping. Then there are those dating apps, those of us that have done dating apps in the past, or maybe we're doing them now or whatever. They make meeting new people a lot easier. Make it such a breeze than if you were to try to go out and individually meet these people at restaurants or clubs or whatever. Need to get across the town? Ride sharing services they got you covered. And let's not forget text messaging, which makes sending a note as easy as a quick tap on your screen, for simpler than mailing a letter, right? It would take forever to mail a letter now, is what it feels like, versus if I can just text you a message. But these innovations makes our daily tasks a little easier and more enjoyable. Just like a Japanese TV maker might revamp their workspace to cut down on unnecessary movements, successful companies approach product design with the goal of streamlining every step. They trim down the number of fields on forms, making it easier for you to fill them out. They minimize the clicks needed to set up an account. I mean, now you can just go, hey, I've got a Google account. Click, and there, you got your account with whatever XYZ company it is that you are signing up for, an app or their website, whatever. Used to you had to fill it all out. Now you can just say, well, I got this email here, or I got Facebook, or I got whatever, and done. Let's see. But they do that so you can get started and with not spending too much time on that. Plus, they package their products with clear, friendly instructions, or encouraging customers to make fewer choices to keep things simple and enjoyable. When the first smart speakers hit the market, think Google Home, Amazon Echo, Apple HomePod. I had a chat with a friend about their new gadget. They mentioned how much they loved that it was as simple as saying, play some country music, instead of fumbling with their phone, launching the music app, and then scrolling through a playlist. Like, just say it. What struck me is that just a few years before that, having instant access to music in your pocket was already a huge leap from driving to the store to buy the CD, right? Or the cassette tape or 8-track, whatever it was in your time. It's fascinating how businesses are always on the lookout to make our lives a little easier while still delivering the same great results. Right, Harry? Harry said, imagine going back to the 50s and telling people there will be a day when you will send a message on a phone. They would be calling you crazy. Yes. But it's fascinating, or I find it very fascinating. Governments have successfully employed similar tactics in the past. For instance, when the British government aimed to boost tax collection, they made a simple yet effective change. Instead of directing citizens to a web page where they had to download the tax form, they provided a direct link to the form itself. Again, by trimming that one extra step from the process, they saw the response rate climb from 19.2% to an impressive 23.4%. In a country like the UK, those few percentage points translate to millions of pounds in tax revenue. And it's amazing how a small tweak, minor tweak, can make such a big difference. Steph says, Mr. Stephanie parent met via pen pal back in the day. Yes, pen pals. My mom and my stepdad met with my stepdad putting a personal ad in our classified ads. Do y'all remember this? They're in the classified ads where you went and bought everything, you know, before internet and everything. You could also put personal ads. My stepdad put a personal ad in there and my mom answered it. I cannot believe she did that. But anyways, and the rest is history. Just like Robert and I met online, and I thought my stepdad was crazy for me to even do that. And he was like, well, I met your mom through the newspaper. I was like, okay, you got a point. Wendy says, Siri has become my best friend with the voice texting and being able to talk and chat and everything since my vision has gone so down, right? And it's gotten better. Like, I used to get so aggravated at Siri, and I still do at times, but, you know, it's like, come on, I said this word, and it put something totally different. And it's gotten better and better, I think. I know, when I hear AOL, AOL.com, I'm like, you've had that account for a while. Yes. So, the main goal here is to craft a space where choosing the right thing feels effortless. And a big part of our journey towards better habits lies in discovering ways to make those positive actions easier while making negative ones a bit more challenging, as I said earlier. And it's all about reducing the hurdles for our good choicing and piling on obstacles for those habits we prefer to leave behind. So let's talk about how to prime the environment for future use. I want to introduce you to Oswald Nicholas, an enthusiastic IT developer hailing from the charming town of Natchez, Mississippi. Oswald isn't just some tech whiz. He truly gets how essential it is to set the right mood in his workspace. He believes that a well-crafted environment can unlock creativity and boost productivity, making each project a little more brighter and a little bit more exciting. Mary says, when the system goes down, it's scary to realize how much we rely on tech. We have become pretty helpless. Yes, amen to that. We now, at work, can only use the phone through our computers. Now, we can set up to where our phone rings to our cell phone, but I don't want that annoyance. So I have to be on my laptop to make a phone call. But what about when the electricity goes out and my battery's down on my laptop? You know, I can't be making phone calls. You know, everything's on the web and all the accounts and stuff in order to access anything. So if the system goes down, everything goes out the window. All right, so let's do another chat participation time. Who here resets a room after they are done with an activity like watching TV or working on a project? Who here resets the room? And I'm going to explain more into this. Maybe some of y'all will pick up on what I'm talking about. But like if you're watching TV or you're working on a project or you finish the day at work Who here resets everything? Or who here, like I said, resets their desk areas? At work or even at home. If you work at home and you have your desk area, who here resets it? And I'll explain if you don't know what I'm talking about. But Mr. Steph says, I used to, not so much now. Steph says, have y'all seen my office lately? Do you really, Tammy? Do you? Not if you have a how-to book, a few candles, a power pack to charge your phone. Karen says, me? Steph said, that's on her to-do list. You do at home? See, I'm the opposite. I do at work, but I don't. Well, kind of, sort of, but not as much as I do at work. Did I give you a star? I already gave you a star for that. Lisa D says no. So when I'm done at work, at the office, at the end of the day, everything goes back to their place. I don't just leave it on my desk for the next day to come back to. I put anything that I might need to work on in my drawer next to my desk. I put my pens back where they go. I put my stapler, if I had it on my desk, I put it back in its spot. Everything I put back to create a blank space to be ready to go again the next morning. Kind of like a clean slate, if you will. Me too, Karen. Yes. Wendy said, the only thing I seem to reset is setting coffee for the next day. That's about it. Love it. Exactly, Steph. It is. It is. I get you, girl. But everything goes back. I cannot stand to leave my desk at work with anything on it. I can't stand for people to put stuff on my desk while I'm not at work. Especially if they borrow something off my desk and they just lay it back on my desk. No, you know where those pairs of scissors were. Put it back in a spot. You borrow my charging cord, put it back in a spot. Yes, my charging cord has a spot in one of my drawers. You know where to get it, obviously. Put it back in that spot when you've used it. I'm just so very anal, if you will, when it comes to using my stuff. I don't mind letting anybody borrow anything that I have. Just put it back where you found it. And don't make me come and ask you where it is. Back when my boss, Matt, had his partner, Timo, that worked with us, Timo had borrowed my tape. And I saw it. It was sitting right there on his desk. And I was so mad. And I was like, he borrowed my tape. The least he could do is bring it back. Matt's like, just walk in there and get it. I said, it's the principle of it, Matt. He borrowed it. Therefore, he needs to return it. And then the time that he took all my stuff out of my personal drawer that I keep, like my paper plates and plastic forks and spoons and stuff, I keep them in a certain spot for a reason so they don't go missing. And then I'm like, well, if I known I ran out of plates, I would have bought more. No, I know exactly that I used it and when I used the last one. And so, anyways, the time he did that, boy, I was slamming cabinets. I was so mad because he touched my stuff, put it in another spot instead of putting it back. That's the only time I get that way, though, for the most part. Right? Yes, I hate it as well. Harry says, my desk looks awful, stuff sitting everywhere. If I put things away, I never find stuff again. Well, see, at work, that's why I do it. So then, and then here at home, I have things that I put back, like my scissors and my tape and notepads and the measuring tape, and I put it all back. Now, every once in a while, I'll misplace it if I get too big of a hurry and not put it back. But I do that so then I'm not running around with my head cut off trying to find the item that I need to use in that moment. Yes, I function so much better when I'm organized. Exactly, Karen. I hate it when I have to go and ask somebody, can I borrow my stuff back? Yes, do not make me do that. It's not pretty if I have to do that. Yes, me too. Fast meltdown. Quickly. Yes. I have to know where my stuff is. So, Knuckles, the guy we were talking about, has fine-tuned his cleaning routine with a clever approach that he likes to call resetting the room. For example, after binge watching his favorite show, he doesn't just walk away, turn TV off, and walk away. He thoughtfully places the remote back on the TV stand. I have to do it here. Every once in a while I forget, but God forbid if that remote is over by my chair instead of over by Robert's chair, I will hear about it. But for example, putting it back where it was. He also fluffs up the couch pillows and he neatly folds the blanket. I ain't got that much time on my hand, but anyways. But when hopping out of his car, he makes it a point to toss any litter into the trash can. I personally do this every time I gas up my car. It's a habit that Robert got me into. He's like, if you're at the gas station, there's a trash can right there. Get the trash out of your car, because I used to keep a messy car. Now I hardly ever have trash in my car. So while the gas is pumping, I check all my door pockets, I check my cup holder, my back seat, and I empty all the trash, if there's even any trash to begin with. That way my car is kept nice and it's clean of trash. It's a lot easier not having kids anymore, you know? So, Mary says at work I carried a box on my forklift. It got locked in my locker. You're fine, Mary. Like when people play. Yeah, see, people, they make fun of me because I lock my tape up. I'm like, I'm tired of y'all walking off of my tape. I hide my stapler because I'm tired of you walking off of my stapler. At our office, you have to go get your own supplies. They do not provide the supplies to you. So if you need a stapler, you need to go buy one. If you need tape, you need to go buy it. If you need paper clips, go buy it. Now, granted, I got a ton of that stuff, so I share with the new guys that come in. But it's just not given to you. So therefore, I am picky about where my stuff is. So, back to Knuckles and what I was saying. And while waiting for his shower to warm up, he takes a moment to wipe down the toilet. As he wisely points out, it's actually the perfect opportunity to clean the toilet right before you get in the shower. The whole idea behind resetting each spot or each space isn't just about tidying it up after oneself. It's about setting the stage for whatever comes next. Whenever I step into a room, everything feels perfectly in order. Knuckles shared, not me, Knuckles. He said, since I make it a habit to tidy up each space every day, everything stays looking good. People often assume I put in a lot of effort, but the truth is I'm more on the lazy side. I just prefer to be smart about it. This way, I reclaim so much time for myself. Right? Yes, Steph, he was. Just like me at work. When I walk in the next morning, I just go to my desk, I fire up my computer, and I pull out whatever it was that I was working on yesterday, and I'm ready right then to work on it. Or I wait until I am. But it's out of sight, out of mind, and I don't have the clutter. But my pens, they're right where I left them. The stapler is where it belongs. My tape and so forth, all that's in its place. I'm not wasting 5 or 10 minutes looking for stuff when everything was left in its place the day before. Each time you set up a space to serve a specific purpose, you're really setting the stage for your next move to flow smoothly. Remember, back to the water hose, we want it to flow smoothly. It's like giving yourself a little nudge for making things easier and more enjoyable. Good night, Tammy. So, getting your space ready for action can make it a breeze. That's why I do it at work every day. At the end of the day, everything gets put up, and then that way I'm not walking into clutter and being frustrated. If you're aiming to whip up a nutritious breakfast in the mornings, if you're going on that brand new diet that we talked about earlier, just take a few moments the night before. Robert has helped with this with me. I put my bag, my purse, everything I need to take to work, all sits right there on the other side of my partition here. That way it's all together and I'm not running around here with my head cut off the next day trying to find whatever it was I need to take to work or forgetting to take something to work, Make it easier. Keep it simple, stupid. The whole KISS method, right? So if you're doing breakfast the next morning, set your skillet on the stove, put the cooking spray on the counter, and arrange your plates and utensils that you're going to need. And so when morning arrives, you find that making breakfast is a piece of cake. It's all right there, ready to go. Here's a couple of other examples real quick. If you want to draw more, you're feeling inspired to draw more, make it easy on yourself by keeping your pencil, your pens, your notebooks, and drawing tools right there on your desk, all within arm's reach. Maybe you're craving a little more movement. Lay out your workout clothes, shoes, your gym bag, water bottle in advance. This way you're all set up to go when the motivation strikes. Now, these are just some easy and effective strategies to help you embrace good habits with minimal effort. You can also switch up this idea if you're trying to break a bad habit and transform your surroundings to make it harder to slip into the bad habits you have. For instance, if you catch yourself binge watching TV a little too much, try unplugging the set after each session. Only plug it back in when you can confidently name the show you're eager to watch. This little tweak adds just enough resistance to keep you from zoning out mindlessly in front of the screen. If you're looking for an extra nudge, why not take it a step further? Unplug your TV and remove the batteries from the remote after each use. It'll add an extra 10 seconds to the process. I've counted it. 10 seconds to the process of turning it back on. And for those truly committed to breaking the habit, consider moving the TV altogether into a closet after you finish watching. This way, you'll only bring it out when you genuinely want to enjoy a show. With a clean sink. Yes, I love it. There you go, Steph. Yes, Robert has gotten in the habit of walking. He walks 2 or 3 times a day at the office if the weather, it's not raining or ice or whatever. Him and a bunch of the guys at the office go for a walk, and they got it set on the calendar, which I love. I wish I had that. And then over the weekend, like Saturday morning, he went for a walk before I ever got up. And then he might have taken a walk Saturday evening. He did it early Sunday morning, and then we went and walked together with Bella. So I'm trying to, I remember when I was training for my half marathons, I was the one that was always walking. He was staying here. So I'm trying to pay attention to that a little bit more. That way I'm working out, but I'm also spending time with him as well. So remember, the more effort that it takes for a bad habit that you're trying to break, the less likely you are to fall back into that habit. If you notice that you're constantly scrolling on your phone while work needs to be done, try leaving it in another room until lunchtime. Put it on mute. I will literally take my watch off because I get the notification through my watch. I will take that off, take my watch and my phone and my hearing aid sometimes, because I do get some notification through my hearing aid, and I'll put it away because any little distraction will deter me for however long until I get back to the action. So therefore, I try to ignore it as much as possible. But leave it in another room until lunchtime or your first break if you're at work. When it's right beside you, you might find yourself checking it over and over for no good reason. It's just a habit. However, if it's out of sight, I bet you'll forget about it most of the time. The added distance makes it less tempting to go grab it without a purpose. And this simple change can give you 3 to 4 uninterrupted hours of productivity every morning. If simply leaving your phone in another room will not work for you, you're still going to think about it, it's going to drive you nuts, it's not cutting it, why not take a page out of my boss's playbook? He has literally handed me his phone at times when he needed to crunch down and get ready for a presentation, do a report, get some trades done. He has literally handed me his phone. So you can do the same thing. Hand your phone over to a friend or a family member and let them stow it away for a few hours. You could even ask, if you work like I do, ask your coworker like my boss did to babysit it at their desk until lunchtime when you can get it back. It's a fun way to stay unplugged for a bit. I did yesterday. I'm trying to get into that habit, Steph. Similarly, when I remove gaming apps or maybe a social media app from my phone, I can go for weeks without the urge to reinstall them and log back in. It's out of sight, out of mind. It's just fascinating to realize just how little extra effort can steer us away from undesired habits. For instance, when I tuck away snacks at the back of the pantry, or just put them in the pantry, should I say, or hide them in the corner of the fridge, I find myself craving that junk food much less. Out of sight, out of mind. I'm a very much out of sight, out of mind type of person. While these strategies might not break a serious addiction, for many of us, a small amount of friction can be the key to maintaining good habits instead of slipping into bad ones. Yes, turn it off, like Harry says. Just turn it off. And if you just think about the powerful effect of making numerous small changes and surrounding ourselves with an environment that nudges us towards positive behaviors and make the negative ones a bit tougher to indulge in. No matter if you're tackling behavior change as an individual, a parent, a coach, or a leader, there's a fundamental question that we all need to consider. How can we create a world where doing the right thing feels effortless? Take a moment to reimagine your life where the actions that truly matter are also the simplest ones to embrace. All right, let's do a quick recap of what we covered tonight. I know we've gone over quite a bit in the hour and 11 minutes that we've been live. Number one, people tend to lean towards the path of least resistance. It's like our instincts guide us to choose the easiest route that requires the minimal effort. We naturally want to take the simpler, more effortless option whenever we can. Number two, let's build a place where choosing the right path feels effortless and natural, making it a breeze to do good. Number three, we learn to make it easier to embrace positive habits by minimizing obstacles, creating less friction. When the path is smooth, forming good habits become a breeze. Number four, we learn that if we want to break a bad habit, we have to make it harder to slip into bad habits. When there's more resistance, it becomes tricky to keep those unwanted behaviors around. And lastly, set the stage for yourself by organizing your surroundings, and you'll pave the way for smoother and more effortless actions in the future. And that's it for tonight's topic, guys. Thank you guys, as always, for starting off your week with me with Monday Motivation. As always, I hope there was something in tonight's topic that you can take and apply to your life this week and start creating those good habits with the least effort. Got you, Steph. So real quick, tomorrow night, I will be on with Selena for our One Fry Short of a Happy Meal at 7:30 p.m. Central. We will obviously have Steph with us, and Joanne will be back with us as well. So come tomorrow night to my channel at 7:30 p.m. Central for the One Fry Short of a Happy Meal. You'll figure out real quick why we call it that. Wednesday night, I will be over on Josie's Place at 6 p.m. Central to do some sales over there on her channel. Thank you, Lisa D. And then Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Central, I will have Cool Ranch Dorito back on with me on here on my channel. Now, next Monday is Labor Day. So I think I might be taking that Monday off. I'm going to try to set myself up for success and just go ahead and say I'm going to take next Monday night off. That way I don't feel like I'm letting anybody down. So our next Monday Motivation on episode 137 will be 2 weeks from tonight. And we will be discussing the 2-minute rule and how to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. How does that have to do with habits? You'll just have to come on back here to this channel on the Monday Motivation in 2 weeks at 8 p.m. Central to find out. So make sure you do all the YouTube things, guys, that you have subscribed. You ring the bell for all notifications and a thumbs up on your way out if you've not already done so. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, Steph. I've been so committed that it's so hard for me to try to take that night off. So, all right, guys, y'all make it a great week. If I don't see you somewhere around the YouTube, remember, if you can make your good habits more convenient, you're going to be more likely to follow through on them. Now let's do this thing. Good night, guys.